think they are not here.
If the accused is not here, she will be tried regardless. We cannot escape the justice of the gods.
Forget about the bloody gods and listen to what I'm telling you. Cersei understands the consequences of her absence, and she is absent anyway, which means she does not intend to suffer those consequences. The dragon wait. We all need to leave.
The word screencert is a portmanteau I derived from the words screening and concert. A screencert is an event where performance of music on stage is accompanied by the projection of associated audiovisual on screen. But not every musical event with a screen is a screencert. For example, this is not a screencert. It is not a screencert because the accompanying audiovisual on screen is not that of the film the music is associated with. There are different types of screencert, but my PhD research is an empirical study of the audience experience of a very specific type of screencert in which a full-length feature film is projected on screen.
For Frodo.
This is a film with live orchestra concert, an FLO concert. FLO concert gives the audience an experience entirely different from the one they might have at, say, a Game of Thrones screencert. So to establish the scope of my study, I had to clearly define how an FLO concert is different from other types of screencerts that might seem similar at first. And in the process, a typology of screencerts emerged. Silent film with live orchestra concert, film with live orchestra concert, film with live theatre and orchestra concert, documentary with live orchestra concert, documentary series with live orchestra concert, TV series with live orchestra concert, video game with live orchestra concert, anime with live orchestra concert, excerpt or montage with live orchestra concert, mixed media with live orchestra concert. A few typologies of screen-based concerts do already exist. I expand on these by looking at them through the lens of intermedial and multimodal studies, and especially through Lars Ellestrom's conception of media products, media types, and transmediation.
And media product refers to the intermediate stage that enables the transfer of cognitive import from one or several producers' minds to one or several perceivers' minds. The media product is material, a physical entity or process with the capacity of triggering mental reactions through semiosis.
And basic media types are the basic building blocks with which a media product is constructed. These are the building blocks, the basic media types or elements an audience member sees and hears on the screen, on the stage, and in the space in a screencert venue. Any discussion or analysis of screencerts must consider the presence and the potential effect of the interaction between these constituent media elements. For audience could perceive congruence or incongruence between any combination of even unrelated media elements. For example, between Spider-Man swinging between the skyscrapers in the film and the conductor waving his baton at the orchestra. The number of and types of media elements that make each type of screencert is different. The number of audiovisual stimuli and their intensities in each type of screencert are different. So the perceptual and cognitive processes each media product activates in an audience member could be different, and consequently, the aesthetic effect and experience of each screencert could be so very utterly different. For example, though a full-length feature film is shown in the screencert, it is not an FLO concert. Because during the musical numbers, the large screen at the center shows a live feed of the performance on stage, and the audiovisual of the film is pushed to the smaller screens on the side, and thus possibly disrupting the audience's immersion in the narrative world of the film. In an FLO concert, however, the audiovisual shown on the screen or the large center screen is that of the film throughout the event. Another key difference between screencerts is the choreographed lighting on stage. In an FLO concert, lighting on the stage is unintrusive and unchanging, except for the cone of spotlight that is shown on some soloists. But in other screensets, lighting match the colors in the visuals, and the colors and the movements of the lights are choreographed to be in sync with the transitions in the music and the moving images.
Just 50 years ago, we finally ventured to the moon.
the important thing for me, because I'd watched a load of these things over the years, you know, when they come to London, you'd go and see, and you know, sometimes they're brilliant, but sometimes it felt like you were watching clips and highlights of the show. And I was really keen that if we were going to do it, we made it its own thing, and we made it a 2-hour show that stands alone and tells the whole story of the original series, but in a way that really works as its own kind of journey. The pieces that really sort of embrace the orchestra and, you know, the huge screens and the lights and all those things that go with these sort of shows. So it was a lot of work to kind of work out the balance of it.
Sometimes the clips screened are just highlights, as Stephen Price says in an excerpt or montage with live orchestra concerts. There is no coherent narrative, and there is not much congruence between the music and the visual montage either. And in a comparison between two different types of Star Trek screencerts, Mikako Okazaki says, in an excerpt or montage with live orchestra concert, the visuals were montage-driven and often non-linear, sometimes making it challenging to process the connection between music and visuals.
Guys, if you've been watching it, hoping the directors will give some indication that your minds have room for expansion. Yes. What is that left? The end is over.
Whereas in Star Trek FLO concerts, because the film follows a single unified narrative, audience members could be easily absorbed into the cinematic world. This brings us to Lars Ellestrom's conception of transmediation, which will help us understand further how FLO concert is experientially different from most other types of screencerts. He proposes that there are 3 basic modalities or traits that make each media product unique in its construction.
The 3 premiotic media modalities are the material modality, the spatial-temporal modality, and the sensorial modality. Media products are all material, in the plain sense that they may be, for instance, solid or non-solid, or organic or inorganic, and comparable traits like these belong to the material modality.
The score in the original film is presented through whatever is the material of the projection, the storage, the screen, and the sound devices in a cinema hall. The score in the screencert is presented through the moving bodies of the musicians, the musical instruments, and the sound devices in the concert hall.
It's also the case that all media products have spatio-temporal traits, which means that such products that do not have at least either spatial or temporal extension are simply inconceivable. Hence, the spatio-temporal modality consists of comparable media traits such as temporality, stasis, 2-dimensional spatiality, 3-dimensional spatiality, and so on. Furthermore, media products must reach the mind through at least one sense. Hence, sensory perception is the common denominator of the media traits belonging to the sensorial modality. Media products may be visual, auditory, tactile, and so on and so forth.
Lars Ellestrom says that when a media product is transferred from one medium to another, it is transformed. As the differences in the modalities create some possibilities and limitations, there always is some loss or gain. The magnitude of loss or gain seemed to be so much greater in other types of screencerts compared to FLO concerts. The sequence of images in the audiovisual that unfolds in the entire duration of an FLO concert is the same as it is in the source media product. The sequence of images in the audiovisual that unfold in the entire duration in other types of screencerts, say an MLO concert, is not the same as it is in the source media product or products. In an FLO concert, music and moving images are synchronized as they are in the source media product. In an MLO concert, music and moving images are not always synchronized as they are in the source media products. FLO concerts have single unified narrative from start to finish. MLO concerts have multiple, perhaps thematically linked narratives from start to finish. Running time of an FLO concert is almost same as that of the film. The length of an MLO concert is far lesser than the total running time of the source media products. Of course, there are some exceptions. There will always be some exceptions that does not fit neatly into these typologies. For example,
we're going to have the game up on the screen, and we have 6 players that we have carefully culled together from. So they're going to be sitting right here, literally playing the game. We have not pre-choreographed this. We have not told them, okay, I'm going to give you the sign and you go do that. Our job as musicians is to provide the score like you would have heard it in game, but completely live. And it turns out it's perfect. That journey is just the right length of a game to be able to do all of it. And so that's what we're going to try to do.
In video game with live orchestra concerts, typically music is played to excerpts or montages. But this Journey live concert was different. The music was performed live as the entire game was played from start to finish, and hence an exception. And it is after considering all these exceptions and examples of differences, I constructed a definition of an FLO concert, a descriptive definition that distinguishes it from all other types of screencerts. A film with live orchestra concert is an event in which an audience gathered at a venue watch a subtitled, full-length sound narrative feature film on a big screen with an ensemble of musicians present at the same venue, sitting on a dimly lit stage performing the complete background music and sometimes the songs and the source music too, live in sync with the film. There has been nearly 1,100% increase in the number of FLO concerts between 2011 and 2019, and more new films are being added to the canon each year. FLO concerts are a consistently growing cultural phenomenon that seems so utterly unstoppable now.